Right, so the Titans against the grain of play, taking the first tie, 16-14. So the Mavericks will be looking for a quick comeback here. They don't want to come under too much pressure later on in the tie, so they want to tie this up immediately. Some big names playing as well, with Moksha, who's represented Hyderabad in multiple tournaments across Asia. Sama Satvik also comes into this with extremely hot form. She comes with a tennis background, and in this league alone, she's in some really good nick. She's leading 4-0 in all 4 games she's played. So it's up to her to bring it back for the Mavericks now.
It also does a world of good for the motivation levels of the Mavericks, especially you know that you've got a player who's not lost a match, and you've got a player in your ranks who's played international tennis as well. So it holds Mavericks in good stead. We'll just have to see how the Teramor Titans hold on to it. Shots like these can really put any player under pressure, just like how Satvika Sama was under pressure right now.
And I think that's what the Titans will be going for as well, right? They have the first tie, try and finish this as well, really get a choke hold on the entire game day.
The Credicon Mavericks have done well. They're on the top of the leaderboard. In fact, they just slipped to the second position after Nandi Chargers won their earlier contest today. So, but as the live standing stands, they are number 2, but they've been on top here. So they need more. This was a shot there. It was waiting to be hit, and Eshita Raju does no mistake on that. A powerful smash, and it is 2-1. 1-2 rep. 2-1. Teramor Titans in serve.
You cannot lift that up and give a pop-up to Eshita. You can see those badminton skills just translating. She will hit any pop-up from any angle, and that'll be a winner.
She's hit that wide, and Mavericks now stringing a few points together.
Gagan, I know you used a bit of AI analysis to have win predictors ready. So what is your win predictor telling you about this match? And let me see if I can validate it with my experience.
So the first match of this evening was supposed to go the Mavericks' way with a favor of 75%. I think it's safe to say that my win predictors are not doing very well.
I mean, the Mavericks did change up their initial solid pair, which is usually Vishal and Shrikar, who are both amazing doubles players. I think they do want to test out their combinations as well. And I think the Teramor Titans really showed up today in their men's doubles match.
But to answer your question for this match as well, the Mavericks are supposed to have an advantage. They're coming into this match with a 2-0 losses record, while the Titans are coming in at a 1-win, 1-loss record. So,
you mean in their women's doubles?
In the women's doubles alone, yes, this specific tie. So we'll see if I can also get some vindication.
I'm really curious to know what AI do you use.
So one of us works at Google, so Gemini all the way in our household.
There it is. Gemini all the way. Well, let's see what Gemini predicts is right or wrong. AI always comes with a disclaimer. You'll have to check your facts. Might not always be true.
Absolutely. So far, though, I think the Mavericks have proven that they have a track record, and they've backed that information up.
A small
It's a good time for the Titans to have taken a timeout. I think they were behind on momentum.
So back in action here at the halfway stage. So the teams change sides. 8-2. The Mavericks hold the aces here. They need to go ahead and hold this lead. They should be winning this contest. They should want to win this contest. They lost the first men's doubles tie. They need to restore parity and get back on level terms. Satvika had to do a lot of running there. Very good use of the kitchen by both these players.
Mavericks just had a little bit of extra patience there. Both teams dinking really well until one lost patience, I guess.
Moksha there on the occasion. Not really timed that well, and this time again, a backhand return from Moksha finding the net. Teramor Titans on serve. This is out. This had to go out. Sindura with that backhand out there and back to punch. Literally more than what is required, and the ball went out of the baseline. Satvika, a tennis player there. Had the good fortune of being in the commentary box with her as well in the past. Done tennis commentary as well on the Sony Sports Network. And you can see her tennis moves in there with Satvika, especially the way she gets ready for that serve, the way the two-hand backhand is played. And of course, Ramya, you're into tennis as well, so you know the game, you know the tips and tricks of the trade.
Absolutely, but then, of course, the first time I met Satvika, I told her what a privilege it is to play with people of her caliber, right? She's represented the country, and it takes a lot to get there. So many promising talents that we see at the national level. There's just very few who convert into the international level.
Absolutely, and having been a tennis player yourself, Ramya, yes, there are a lot of moves and all that mimic tennis in here, but of course it's a very different ball game altogether. Sometimes when you play, there is always that muscle memory that comes to you. How do you manage to not get that muscle memory here?
I think there was a lot of unlearning that we had to do, right? Obviously, the experience from tennis helps, but there are a few specific techniques that you need to unlearn and then relearn. So just a few months of investment into that, and you'll find your pickleball game really leveled up.
As a player, as somebody who goes and plays pickleball, say for about 1 hour every 15 days, person like me, what's the best way to enjoy pickleball?
I think find your community. As soon as you get a few people that say, yes, I'm in, you're going to keep getting onto the court, and that's how you get better. What a beautifully played point by Mavericks there, really making both Sindura and Moksha run around the court a lot, and they seemed in control throughout that point.
So find the community is what I think all of us should be doing. You know.
I absolutely would not be here today if not for a few friends that said, come, let's play, right? And I started out so casually with all of my friends. And then once you get the taste of really enjoying pickleball, I think it's pretty addictive. So that'll happen by itself.
Right. Tips from the player herself. The summit just goes out there.
Good call there by Satvika.
Credicon Mavericks almost have the game here. 13-2. And it's an error, unforced error there at the net from Eshita.
Fast hands. I wouldn't call that an unforced error. It was a forced error. It was a really good shot by Moksha that kind of forced Eshita into a position.
Oh, this is out. Credicon Mavericks need to get back to serve because if they need to go ahead and close this contest at the earliest, they need to be on serve. This was on the line, and immediately it is Sindura wants a review. There, a very silent Teramor Titans bench out there. They know they have a lot of work to do. 2:13, and the referee has just come down to watch what the DRS has got to offer.
Sindura was quick to call that out, and she was right at where the ball bounced. So it'll be interesting to see whether this went out or it landed in.
Getting that best angle out there. They need to go ahead and zoom to find the stand where the ball had pitched.
I think that's a tough angle for the referee to decide. I think if you ask the Mavericks, they're going to say it's in, and then if you ask the Titans, they're going to say it's out. So we'll have to wait for the referee's decision here. This can go either way.
Naked eye, I mean, at first look, it looks, it is in. Maybe on the line.
Yeah, and I think that another part was that the ball did skid, and that usually happens when the ball lands on the line. So I think that this might be called in, but let's see. We're still waiting for the final decision from the referee. All right, so the ball was called in. That is the final decision, which means we are at 13-1 to the Mavericks. Will they be able to close it out on this serve?
Match point here for the Credicon Mavericks. So much needed match point. And all they need to do is close this match at the earliest.
Moksha pulls one back, so we're now on the second serve. Mavericks still on match point.
Teramor Titans on serve, which 2:14. They've got a long way to go if they need to make a match out of this. But I mean, at 2:14, I mean, what do you tell the players? You know that the match is almost there. It's just almost slipped out of your hands. You also need to make sure that you don't lose your focus. So what at this stage? Of course, you've not been here, baby, because you've won all your matches. But then, what do you, as a player, what do you do?
No, I think you first tell yourself that every point counts. On the leaderboard, every point that you get counts. That's number one. And a match is never over until it's over. So you have to keep fighting with that spirit. As you can see, the Titans here have pulled back 3 points on their second serve. So I think you just keep telling yourself to go with a game plan and make every point count. Make that 4. So Titans at 6-14 as we speak.
And as a player, how do you handle this with such a massive lead and suddenly you lose 4 or 5 points in a row? How do you convince yourself to now go out and finish the game?
I think you tell yourself 2 things. One is that the opponents are under pressure. You just need that 1 point. That's number one. And then second is pickleball is a very momentum-based sport, right? So if you lose too many points in a row, then you take a timeout, give yourself time to reset, and then come back afresh. Mavericks here now back on match point, 14-6. Will they be able to close it out on this one?
And they have 2 serves to do it.
Credicon Mavericks. The Castman, they have done that there. 15-6 in this women's doubles, and Credicon Mavericks have gone ahead and restored parity out here at 15-6 in this women's doubles. And we've now moved on to the men's singles. We'll have Vijay Tej of the Teramor Titans up against Vishnuvardhan of the Credicon Mavericks. We will talk more about Vishnuvardhan. We will talk about more about Vijay Tej. But for now, we'll have the Credicon Mavericks enjoy this win as they draw level.